Welcome back to my channel folks, Wildlife Ranger here on YouTube, where today we look at another flower in the 50 Flowers in 50 Days series, and another member of the British flora performs a dainty dance beneath our feet. Today, the 10th of April, in the exceptional warm dry spring of 2025, we visit a local nature reserve to find the next plant in the 50 Flowers in 50 Days series. The flower that we are looking at today is known as Greater Stitchwort or Stellaria holostea. In 2019, the plant had a taxonomical christening and was renamed to Rabelera holostea. However, for the purposes of this video, we will retain the old name Stellaria holostea as found in many of the older botanical texts. This 5-petaled white flower has the petals notched to about half their length. The leaves of the plant alternate at 90 degrees around the stem, and the leaves are spear-shaped or lanceolate. The sound of the seeds popping towards the end of the season can be heard. Welcome folks to my channel Wildlife Ranger on YouTube for all things natural history. Today we're going to have a look at a local nature reserve called Roanoke Local Nature Reserve, sometimes called Railway Terrace. It's a small urban nature reserve of approximately 1.5 kilometres, consisting of a wildflower meadow and usually a little remnant of heathland from the old railway yard at the Lowmere station, and woodland across the edging. There is a very small pond towards the opposite end of the reserve, and we'll be looking at that today, looking at plants such as marsh marigold and one particular plant which is probably not yet in flower, but we will return to it later in the season, known as bog bean. So folks, let's briefly summarise the habitat for this plant. It is an early spring flowering species which prefers open spaces or grassland and has a tendency to strike a balance in open space and dappled shade. It is found in fields, gardens, hedgerows, meadows, parks and roadsides, and is ubiquitous in this habitat. The plant is known by a number of common vernacular names, none the least Greater Stitchwort. According to the medieval doctrines, it could prevent the onset of a stitch if exercise was engaged too quickly, the medical basis of which is unclear. The common vernacular name Greater Starwort also takes us neatly to the Latin binomial or couplet, where the prefix stellaria means of the stars or star-like, and the suffix holostea means composed of entire bone, a reference to the brittleness of the stems. As always, before we embark on our trek into the field, we look at the features and characteristics of the plant which will enable us to identify and find it, beginning with the flowers. We also include a detailed botanical slide which may be stopped at any point for those who may wish to study the plant in more detail. This delicate white star-like flower is ironically a member of the pink or carnation family, the Caryophyllaceae. Greater Stitchwort is a perennial herb which grows up to 60 centimetres in height with a brittle 4-angled stem. It has 5 white, deeply notched petals, notched till about half their length, and the flower is 2 to 3 centimetres in diameter with green bracts. The sepals are shorter than the petals. As stated, the flower has 5 spear-shaped sepals about 6 to 9 millimetres in length with a papery edge. The flower has 5 petals, notched to about halfway down the petal. It has 10 stamens and 3 stigmas, best seen with a magnifying loupe and a one-celled ovary. Greater Stitchwort flowers between the period of April and June, and there are other confusion species in the genus, namely lesser, marsh and bog stitchwort, the scope of which fall outside this beginner's video. However, this slide is included to illustrate some of the differences that might be seen. We turn our attention now to the leaves and stems of Greater Stitchwort. The leaves are narrow, linear, but pointed, and greyish-green. The leaves are arranged in opposite pairs along the plant stem, and they are hairless and stalkless and not toothed. As already stated, the plant stem is four-angled or square, and the leaves are overall grass-like in appearance. Well folks, that brings our journey to find Stitchwort to an end, and I hope in life's future pathways you're endowed with the knowledge to recognise and greet this perennial friend in springs to come. As always, thank you very much indeed for watching. If you have enjoyed this video or found it interesting or educational, please like, share and subscribe to help this channel become a success. And whatever the weather may be, enjoy it.